So I believe I have angered the porn bots from yesterday's video. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, I had some people like tweeting at me and stuff like saying, why haven't I uploaded and shit like that? So just in case you haven't seen it for whatever reason, there it is. But it seems as though I have angered these porn bots because now they're just being more and more aggressive towards me. Last night I tweeted, it was like 5 or 6 in the morning, something like that. I was still awake, obviously. I mean, my sleep schedule's fucked. This is why my videos go up late, because I just sit down and I play for too long. Look at what this bot said to me. It said some shit like, let me suck on your dildo. Look at dildo! Why does it look like this? Did you think I couldn't see dildo good enough? Hashtag breasts, guys. What the fuck? They've gotten increasingly aggressive to the point to where the person that programs this shit, however they're doing it, I don't know if it was a coincidence, but the fact that dildo looks like this after, you know, with the dildo that I have here, I have the largest dildo in the world in my possession. It must just be a really weird coincidence. If you can do what this tweet says to Moby, I would believe everything this bot said. The only thing that can fit Moby in its mouth is a sperm whale. Maybe a Kardashian. Got UFC 202 coming, gotta watch that shit. And speaking of UFC videos, people have been asking me if I'm gonna be making more request videos and stuff. It's just, I didn't want to overdo it. I will obviously do more. Just, you know, I just didn't really want to overdo it. On top of that, after I do these UFC videos, I genuinely, like, I get angry if I lose. Like, at least in Call of Duty, when I do lose, I don't really give a shit. One thing that could ever really piss me off in this game is just, like, really obnoxious lobbies. That's about it. People's play styles, doing some disrespectful shit. Like, if I'm going for no-scopes or something, and we're done talking about it.
Oh, you're so fucking lucky.
Nope, that was all skill. You're just shit. Literally sitting in the back of the map with a silencer on your MP7. Suck my dick.
You're in the middle.
Wait, they have callouts? He just tried to C4 me. Do you see that disgusting shit? What is he doing? He has a I'm about to disrespect. Hold on. Oh my god. They're actually putting on the grandma sweaters. That sweater does that. He throws a C4 after. Yep, we're leaving this lobby. These guys are fucking weirdos. So anyway, I came across his schoolwork and I was looking at it and there was, okay. Don't laugh at me, alright? Alright, I know you're gonna laugh at me anyway, but on this, okay, as you guys know, when I was in school, I never really applied myself. It wasn't so much that, like, you know, I was stupid or whatever. I mean, you could make jokes and say, like, I was stupid, but the majority of the time, like, whenever people are in school and they're not doing well, it's because they're not applying themselves and they're not trying. They're simply just not trying. They don't care enough to do well on it because for whatever reason, they do not see a reason to do so. Or even if they do see the reason for it and they still know it's bad, they're just too lazy to, you know, continue doing it. Whereas other students, you know, really apply themselves, and this is like they give it their all, and then there's other people that, you know, the average that will apply themselves, that won't, you know, go to the ends of the earth to get, you know, the A+ every single time. But I was one of the students that did not apply themselves. So on this test, it was a math test, okay, and I got a 7. Not a C, not a D. I got a 7. 7 points out of 100. I think I got a 7 because I wrote my name. But alright, anyway, I got a 7 on this test, right? Looking at this test, it made me remember, like, how the other kids in my class were. For example, there was this girl in my class, I think her name was Christina? Let's just call her Christina, just in case. This Christina girl, she applied herself so fucking hard, right? She tried super hard every single test that she got. She wanted to score well no matter, you know, what she was doing. No matter the score, no matter the subject, no matter anything, she always wanted to do her best. And that's fine, that's great. But see, the thing is, okay, usually people, you know, usually people will get, you know, frustrated with themselves when, you know, they got a D or a C or something, or they just didn't do as well on the test as, you know, they had hoped for. And me, if I got a fucking B or a C or some shit like that, I'm applauding myself. I'm like, holy fuck, yeah, damn, good job. I didn't even study for this shit and I did well. Well, you know, that's at least what I called well. I remember there was one time where this girl, like, got super, like, upset. They handed the test out, they showed us our grades and everything. They handed the test out, showed us our grades and everything, and she looks at her test and she claps her hands together and just goes, damn it! And other people, like, around her started asking, you know, you didn't do well or something? Like, what's going on? And she goes, I got a 94. A 94! Or it was something in the 90s, okay? I'm assuming it was 94. 94, 93, something like that. I'm sitting here with a 7, single digits, bitch. And she almost got a near perfect score, and she's just really frustrated with herself. Now, okay, that's pretty inspirational, right? She applies herself so much, and she spends all of her time, you know, doing this. This is what she does. So it's only natural to get, you know, frustrated not doing, you know, the best that you could possibly fucking do. Especially when you spend most of your time studying for this. But you still need to give yourself some credit, you know what I'm saying? Now, this ties into, like, philosophy philosophy and all this other stuff. Like, if, you know, if you're not scoring perfect, you're not trying hard enough, and, you know, all this other stuff. But you still gotta give yourself credit when you look at somebody like me. You could be like me, okay? You could have a 7. Be proud of yourself and how far you've come. I'm not saying just slack off like I am and, you know, just settle for your 94. Push harder, you know what I'm saying? Great. But don't act like you failed like I did. I fucking failed. I should be the one that's angry. And even if I did apply myself, I still wouldn't have gotten a score that great. Not because I'm stupid, but because I'm not trying as hard as you. When somebody is frustrated that they get a B and you're sitting there, you know, getting constant C's, D's, or F's or something like that, the average, you can't help but just sit there and think like, well, I mean, well, fuck me, right? Got a fucking 7, guys. A 7. I got a 7, guys. A 7. Now, I actually have no idea what this girl is doing, like, at this time. I don't know if she, like, obviously she probably went to college. Don't know if she has a job, like, you know, using her degree and everything like that, because, like, I know a lot of kids that, you know, did really well. I have a lot of friends that did do really well in school, and now they're, you know, working jobs that, you know, they never even went to college for. They went to college for, you know, for 2, 3, 4 years, and, you know, they don't have the job that they went to college for, and they're not getting paid nearly as much as, you know, how much time they spent in school, which is fucking frustrating to hear about. Like, even though I didn't go to college for any of that stuff, it's still frustrating to hear about. They're taking, like, super legitimate courses, like jobs in demand type of shit, and they still don't have a job. Like, the sad part is, I don't know if they'll ever even have a job that relates to that, and they just spent all that time in school, learning all of this shit, taking out student loans and all that shit, and you gotta pay it all back. It's so fucking shit, dude. Like, I get it, school doesn't always equal success. You know, you hear all those stories about, you know, oh, this guy dropped out of high school, and this guy never went to college, and they're a fucking billionaire, and all this other shit. But again, I still encourage people not to go down the road that I did, because it's just so fucking bad. You're probably gonna feel bad about it later like I do. At least it makes for a good story. I hope you laugh at my fucking 7. Oh, no fucking way! That would have been disgusting! Single to a no-scope. God damn it. I know, hard hat tunnel, all that shit, but that would have been revenge for the time that I got no-scope triple. I'll never get that one back. Failure in school, failure in Call of Duty. If you're still in school, don't get a 7 like I do. At least apply yourself. At least get a 70. Something like, just shoot for a C, at least. Just don't get a 7.